What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to another Warframe video. So I did want to put up another Nidus Prime video this week, focused on Plaguestar, what Nidus' use case in Plaguestar is. Because when I was just messing around, leveling him up in the Plaguestar bounty mission, I actually found some pretty useful stuff that he can do. So we'll be going over that today. Also, just going over some other useful Plaguestar tips that were not covered in the previous video. Alright, so Nidus Prime, we had a video on him yesterday going over a build and all that. What's so good about him on Plaguestar? Well, if you watched the previous videos on Plaguestar, you know that one of the abilities we use to speed up the Hemocyte boss is Rest and Rage, the subsumed ability from Equinox. What that will do is it will basically make the enemy more vulnerable to damage and make them move faster. This does stack with Nova's M Prime with negative power strength to make the enemy move even faster. So on the Volt, or whoever you have Rest and Rage subsumed on, you want high power strength because the damage vulnerability and the speed increase are increased by strength. So like with this build right here, we got 300% strength. It's going to be a 60% speed increase. On Nova Prime, you want negative power strength to make it move faster and there. And you might be thinking, why are you talking about this? Like, we already know this stuff. Well, it's not the easiest thing to completely increase the power strength of this frame that's using Rest and Rage. Maybe you have it on Loki, maybe you have it on a Hydroid, maybe you have it on a Wisp, whoever. Nidus Prime is unique in the case where he can actually link to an ally and give them massively increased power strength with our Parasitic Link ability. So what this will do is once you get enough, like if you get a stacked up, you can link to an ally and give them a big increase in power strength. Also gives you a massive increase in power strength. So that will let you do things like have subsumed Eclipse from Mirage to actually buff your teammates if you run the Total Eclipse Augment mod. So see right here, we got Total Eclipse. While active, allies within 15 meters benefit from Eclipse. That amount of range right there is influenced by range mods. So we've got Stretch and Cunning Drift. It's basically the same build as the normal build on the Umbra Nidus build, but we've actually got Total Eclipse subsumed on here, which I think is actually a pretty good subsume on Nidus, all things considered. So if we use this, and then we use the Parasitic Link together, we're getting a nearly 700% damage buff to all of our teammates, including ourselves. So let's show that in action real quick from a stream replay. Now, I know that the quality's pretty potato, but let's try to see what's going on here. All right, so we've got the Loki right there who has Rest and Rage subsumed. Look, after I link to him, the enemies are moving so fast towards us once he casts it on them that it doesn't matter if they're on the other side of the map. They're going to run towards us at max speed. This also makes killing the ads a lot faster because Nova will not need to M Prime during this phase. The annoying thing about Nova M Priming during this phase is that the enemies will explode and destroy the spawn pods. And if you watch the previous video, you know destroying the spawn pods is really, really bad. So this is the foolproof method of not killing the spawn pods, but also making the enemies run towards you really, really fast. It's going to be Rest and Rage. And with Nidus, he's getting a bunch of extra power strength. Like right now, I want to say he's getting about like 90% extra power strength or something crazy like that. And then see, when you are casting your Eclipse, make sure you cast it once you're linked up and all that stuff. So in this footage right here, I'm only level 18 because I was leveling up Nidus. But once you get to level 30, the buffs are much bigger. So that's why the Eclipse buff is only 380 in this clip. It's because I was level 18 because I was leveling him up. This was during a double XP weekend. So here's another tip for you if you want to speed the mission up even further. Since we're not trying to blow up the defense pods, because that's a bad idea, you can use Nidus' second ability, Larva, to pull the enemies from the defense pods into one easy spot. You don't even need to use an AoE weapon in that case, because Nidus is pulling them all into one spot. It's very easy. You can just kill them with a normal, like your Pyrana Prime, your Babonico, your Kuvacomb, your whatever. They're very easy to kill in that situation. So they're sped up to light speed. They're also in one spot. It doesn't get much easier than that. Now we'll go over another little tip you can do if you're doing Rest and Rage, setups like we are right here. So let's enough of the gameplay footage right there. So if you're going to be doing this, you can actually teleport into the boil. So here's an example of it. You can have a Nova put a portal into the boil, and then you can actually speed the boss up before he actually is targetable. Like while he's just spawning in there, I can cast Rest and Rage, jump out. If you're jumping in there, make sure you pick up some Wisp modes. I would say that Wisp is one of the meta frames for this. Because additionally, like besides all the other good stuff she's doing, you can pick up those health motes to actually heal over time, and they'll let you be inside the toxin, or even on top of the boil if you wanted to. Keep in mind, you can also get into that boil by spamming operator button, but that definitely looks a lot more gimmicky than this. So Yeah, that's how you'll speed up the boss even more. Now keep in mind, if I was linked by a Nidus there, the guy would be moving even faster. But, you know, we're still trying to get the strats all, like, you know, popularized and all that. Secret Agent Hydroid is kind of just a meme. I'd probably say put Nidus in your squad over Hydroid, or maybe just put, like, you know, a nuker frame or something like that. You can still do the decoy cheese. Maybe have, like, Wisp do that. If you don't want to run Eclipse and Total Eclipse Augment Mod on Nidus, there's other helmet abilities you can go for as well. Some other really good ones. I was actually considering trying out Toxin Elemental Ward, which will give you increased reload speed. Also, look at these invigorations. Ability range, energy max. I might use some of these for Plague Star later this week. So, Elemental Ward from Chroma with the Toxin buff gives you increased reload speed and holster speed. The weird thing about this, though, is that the amount of reload speed you get is scaling with duration for some reason. And we don't have too much duration in our build, so I decided not to go for this one. But that might be potentially interesting with a different setup. Keep in mind, you'll be buffing. If you're going really hard into duration, you'll probably have lower range. And with the amount of range we had in our build, they can teleport into the boil and still be linked. So you might want to be a little bit careful if you're going to go in on the Elemental Ward build, because it's going to require some different build crafting, and not only on power strength, which, you know, might not be as good. As far as other abilities, there's always Energized Munitions, but then again, like, if you bring Energized Munitions as a selfish ability, not for your teammates at all, and, you know, other things like that. So just basically damage buffing. Roar, I guess. I'd probably stay with Eclipse over Roar, just because that's a big, big damage buff. Let's also quickly show the Kuva Comb build, because people have been asking me about that. You're going to want to run the Kuva Comb for this. You're going to run Corrosive and Crit, like I said before. So we've got... and also, we don't care about stash chance, though, so no stash chance mods. 2 fire rate mods just to make it so we spam it down. Keep in mind, you could put primed shotgun ammo mutation mod, because the Kuva Comb chews through ammo like crazy. If you don't have this polarized with the slot that I have for galvanized acceleration, you can put primed shotgun ammo mutation there. You could probably fit it on here, honestly, somewhere as well. And we've got primary merciless. It gives you even further increased ammo. 100% ammo maximum increase. Definitely important on the Kuva Comb. I think it's got like 1,000 shots. And it chews through ammo like no other. It's got a 209 round magazine. So, being the infested, you know how it is. It's an infested boss. You want to tear him up. And yeah, that's pretty much the build for that. And then I've already showed the Pyrana Prime build. Also, if you really want to, if you want to, like, maybe sacrifice another, maybe you don't care about health because you're going to have Wisp modes and you're already tanky enough, you could go with Teeming Virulence, just like the previous build. Get some increased crit chance on your Kuva Comb. And have Eclipse. You'll be insta-kill on that Hemocyte with this and this. So maybe try that out if you want to. Arcane Awakening was just to make the Pyrana Prime have more damage. You could, of course, go for Tempo for more fire rate, but that might be a fire rate overload, honestly, with 2 fire rate mods, a Wisp, and, you know, that might be too much, honestly. So the Arcanes are up to you. Oh, and by the way, keep on, you will, if you're having, like, a good squad going, your Nova will probably have the Power Donation Aura mod, so make sure you're not running Growing Power as Nidus, or you'll give your Nova Power Strength and make the boss move slower. So that's going to be up to you, though. Alright, guys, that's pretty much it for the video. I just want to get a quick Nidus PSA out here. He is pretty good for Plague Star as long as you have a somewhat coordinated team. He's not really good for solo because he can't make the drone move faster. That's going to be Loki and Nova's job for sure. But he can uniquely buff individual players. Equinox can actually buff teammates' power strength as well, but it's actually an area of effect, so you'll actually be buffing your Nova, which you do not want to do. You don't want to buff Nova's power strength at all, or it makes things a little bit slower. So Nidus is unique in that regard, and I definitely recommend him. So, otherwise, guys, take it easy. See you next time, and peace.